Yes, so a lady walked into my job today. She's wearing one of those headscarf things, you know? Yeah. I'm sure you're familiar with what I'm talking about. It actually has a name. It's generally, in most cases, it's going to be called the hijab. Yes, that's, it's what the Muslim ladies wear. The scarf over the head. You see the little girls running around with it, the scarf over their head. Yeah, and I've seen some videos here on YouTube. I've been quite fascinated, by how people respond to this. And I remember watching one video in particular where a man actually just sat there and videotaped some women who were wearing the headscarf shopping. Now, can I just say that if that is not the most craziest thing that I've ever heard, a man who is so freaking bored that he has to stay in a shopping mall watching two women shop, and the reason why he's videotaping them is because they're wearing headscarves. No, not a headscarf. Oh, what's become of the world when our women start wearing headscarves? Oh no. Oh no, our world is truly coming to an end. We've got to stop it. We've got to stop it. We have got to stop these young girls from wearing headscarves, because what's next? Next thing you know, they might actually start having a good self-esteem. One that's not based off of the image of the media, but one that's actually based off of just feeling good about who they are. Woo! But wait, no, we don't want that. We don't want any of that. Come on now. We don't want our girls to have good self-esteems. No, instead, you know what we want? We want our girls to be objectified. Yes. We want our girls to be able to go to school and wear any type of clothing, to have their body parts all in suggestive clothing with their breasts hanging out and their butts all tight, pants tight, short skirts. That's what we want. We want our young girls to be objectified. Yes, that's what we want. So I watch these videos about the headscarf, and I can't help but think, all right, so what? So what? If a Muslim lady wants to wear a headscarf, why in the world are you getting so pissed off about it? Do you seriously have nothing better to do with your time than to run around being pissed off about the fact that you see some lady walk into your grocery store with a headscarf on? I mean, is that how absurd we've become now? Is that how much hate that we have now, that we can't even tolerate some lady wearing a headscarf around her head? No. Even worse yet is when you get Christians doing it. No, not Christians wearing headscarves. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm not talking about Christians wearing headscarves. I'm talking about when you get Christians talking trash about Muslim ladies wearing headscarves. Yeah. Now we got some issues. I don't like that. I don't like it at all. Here, let me tell you why. Because the Bible tells us that women should dress with modesty. And I dare say that there are an abundance of women out there who are not dressing modestly. And they're Christian too. I know there's going to be a bunch of Muslims are going to be watching this, and the Christians are going to be pissed off at me. But I got to speak the truth. I got to speak the truth. You know, the Bible tells us dress with modestly. Women supposed to be dressed with modestly. Dress modestly. Not supposed to be running around with your cleavage all showing out and your butt all tight and these little short little skirt things and all this stuff. We don't need that. Guys got enough problems as it is. You know, we don't need our minds to be looking at women in the church with their stuff all hanging out. It's a distraction. So when I look at a Muslim woman wearing a headscarf, you know, I have to say, And I know I might piss some people off, but you know what? That's the way. If you get pissed off about me thinking there's no big deal with Muslim women wearing headscarves, well then you got way too much time on your hand. And you've got way too much hate in your heart. If you cannot tolerate the fact, if you cannot see the beauty in women wearing headscarves as a sign of their love for God. And that's pretty much what it is. Muslim women wear the headscarves as a sign that they love Allah. They're being obedient to His commands. We could learn something from that. We really could. I think it's a beautiful thing. I really do. I am a Christian. I'm a Christian. And you know, there used to be a time way back in the day for a church, Christian church, called the Corinthian church, where the women wear head things, covered their heads. Now, some Christians still do this today. In certain parts of the world, like Ukrainian churches sometimes, you got the women still wearing headscarves. So, you know, for people to be like, oh, this is a Muslim thing, well, it's not just a Muslim thing. Headscarves are not just a Muslim thing. Christians have been doing it too. It's just not as widespread. When we look around and we see the proliferation of pornography, when we see the media and how it personifies women as being sex objects, and we do nothing about it, when we take into consideration that 90% of teenagers will have seen pornography by the age of 14 or something, I believe, and we're putting videos on YouTube making fun of Muslim ladies wearing headscarves, give me a break. Give me a break. Where are our priorities here? Where are our priorities here? If anything, it just shows that we're afraid. I know, hey, you know what? If Dave Chappelle can get on there and he can say stuff and say, you know what, people never say and think whatever, I can do the same. I just won't be as dirty as he is. People are afraid. And maybe, I understand. I can understand why people might be afraid. But a lady wearing a headscarf, a lady wearing the hijab, is not going to ruin our society. I'm sorry, it's not. Women dressing modestly is not going to ruin America. We could use a little bit more of it, as a matter of fact. In some ways, I wish that many of the Christian girls, teenage girls, would look at their Muslim friends, the Muslim teenage girls, and take a hint. Now, I understand that there may be some Muslim teenage girls that don't want to wear the hijab, and from what I understand, they're not forced to. But man, I think it'd be something else if we had more women who really loved God, and because they loved God, they were willing to dress modestly. And they didn't feel like they had to run around showing all their stuff. Instead, they found their satisfaction and their love solely in God, and not having to worry about men looking at them. Instead, they worry about living for God, loving God. That's all I've got to say. I look forward to your comments once again. Peace out.